Hey guys, how are you doing? Hope that you are doing well. I wanted to make this video because the new series just came out for Avatar: The Last Airbender, which, if you don't know, was one of my favorite TV shows, cartoons growing up in as a kid on Nickelodeon. Literally, I think it was in the 2000s. And I just wanted to chat about it. I wanted to chat about it so badly because I binge watched it all yesterday. After I was sick. I've been sick for 3 days, 4 days. I was sick today, and I just wanted to make this video to really talk to you guys, for the ones that love Avatar. Put your thoughts down below. Like, I just really want to hear from you. But also, if you're new to the whole series and everything, let's just discuss some things that might be different from the new live action that's on Netflix and the actual show and the M. Night Shyamalan show. So, yeah, if you're new here, my name's Nick. I love to do like TV and movie reviews. So if this interests you, click the subscribe button down below. But let's just get into it. I usually do like a lot of facts and stuff about the shows, but I'm literally so brain fogged. I just thought we just have a little like gossip sesh between you and me. So let's just get into the show. So it's 8 episodes, and it takes place from. It takes place from it's like the whole first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender that's on Nickelodeon as well. So it ends with the winter solstice, which is very, very cool. It's where the movie ended as well. I personally thought episode 1 was really, really good. I remember watching the first episode and, Aang, I don't know if you've been seeing like all the little like memes and stuff. Aang can airbend and doesn't need his, I'm gonna butcher, it's not because I'm not a fan, I'm literally just so brain fogged, but his glider, I'm just gonna butcher some stuff, so bear with me. But with his glider and stuff, what did you think? I personally thought it was okay. I did think it was weird when I first heard about it when I didn't watch the show, but there's moments where he does use the glider, so it's not like crazy. Is there an evolution in the actual cartoon that's from Nickelodeon, from the 2000s? Yes, there's an evolution where at the end he basically, at the end of all the seasons when he, masters all the elements and stuff, he can like levitate. So that's kind of cool. They missed out on that, but that didn't bother me. I thought the first episode was a pretty good setup for everyone. I feel like the TV show live action, it can't capture everything, and that's what I've been reading a lot. It can't capture everything. Obviously, it's not the length of the actual TV show. So you're gonna miss all the side quests and stuff, which was unfortunate. But I thought it did a really good job of holding the tone of Avatar. It was very like holistic, all about hope, all about we aren't who we are. We assume we each other to be. The importance of power and legacy and all that, all major themes in the cartoon. I also thought the CGI wasn't terrible. Did I think it was great? Honestly, no. For instance, with Katara fighting, doing her waterbending and stuff, it just didn't seem very impactful. There's also, oh my god, did you catch this? There's one moment where Katara, the waterbender, so if you don't know Avatar, there's like each character has their own bending abilities. Aang, the main character, is an airbender. Katara does water, and then we meet the other ones throughout the season. But then you have Zuko, the main villain, who's fire. Fire's bad, but Katara's like trying to learn this whip throughout the entire season, and this is something I kind of appreciate throughout the series of the TV show. It's like they have these shots where like they would be talking in homage to the Earthbender mirrors and stuff, and sorry, I'm like still not feeling so good. Okay, they're talking to, but this is getting me so excited, so I gotta be slow. They're talking to like the inventor guy, and then they like pan over to Katara, who's like learning something, so she's not paying attention. And I love that shot because it shows that Katara, when we don't see her, she's learning how to waterbend. In the original cartoon, you kind of miss the evolution of Katara waterbending. You kind of get like these episodes, and then you just kind of like jump to the future, and you're like, oh, she's evolved, so she must have been practicing. I like how in the TV show she's actually practicing. But what I was saying is there's this whip where she's trying to learn how to do this whip, right? I think it's the start of like episode 5 or 6. She's trying to learn it, and she like whips herself, and she like feels it, but then her face ain't wet. There's no water on her. And I'm like, you just got whiplashed by water. How are you not doused in water? And that's what the CGI failed at, personally, for me. I also hope you're enjoying the rain right now. I'm going to give you some hot takes too. I think they definitely, when the cartoon came out, it was the early 2000s. Yes, culture has changed. Maybe, we aren't as sexist and misogynistic and all that as we used to be, which is honestly awesome, right? But I also think that's part of society in general. Like, people, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's not good. We all want to be like equals and love each other, right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, there's always going to be separation. There's always going to be gathering of groups and discrimination. Unfortunately, I think that's just how we live. And if it's not this one thing, it's going to be another thing. But in the original show, Sokka, the brother, was a little bit more sexist, and not meaning to. They're literally teenagers. Like, he's just a little bit more misogynistic in the fact that, like, or how we would define it now, he's very macho man, very masculine energy. And what made his character so funny was, like, he'd act like a man, but they'd be really like girlish and childish and very like insecure. And Katara would be kind of more of a masculine energy, very like, I can fight, I will defend us. And even though Katara was the girl, so they kind of wiped that all clean. Sokka isn't really misogynistic, which is good, but it also deafens his character growth that you're going to see throughout the season. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about too. Also with Katara, she's not really bossy. There's not as many like impulse things. For instance, at the end of the season, when she has her fight with the water, master, in the original cartoon, it's an impulse. She literally gets so mad that no one wants her to fight that she just goes out and says, hey, I'm gonna fight you. And everyone's like, whoa, what are you doing? And then they do it. In this TV show, they have a whole scene where she talks to Aang and is like, I think I'm gonna fight him. And let me know in the comments. I have no idea why they put that scene in there. Is it to show that they're all on a uniformed front? It's just weird. It just totally diminished her passion and her aggression, I guess. And I thought it was kind of lame to do that. There's also one scene. My tummy ain't doing well. There's also one scene where okay, so remember when, so these are spoilers obviously, but when Zuko, the blue-headed mask guy, goes to get Aang and save them, right? Well, if I'm not, I could be corrected, but I believe that during the actual this scene was really their most intimate scene. However, they've already had a one-on-one basically before this. I forgot what it was, but like it didn't feel as impactful. And then, which is like, okay, you know, it's not the worst in the world. But what I really didn't like is the scene. There's a scene after the blue-faced man thing. So in the show, what happens is Aang takes him to safety, and he's sitting with him. And Zuko is kind of, he thinks he's dreaming a little bit, but he wakes up and he hears Aang being like, do you think in another life we'd be friends? And then Zuko tries to, you know, does a firebolt at him, which happens in the show, and then Aang flies away. And that's the end of it. In this, they have a whole scene with them talking, which I just thought was so weird. I didn't think they needed it, and I was just like, they're really pushing. They're trying to make it very obvious that Zuko isn't a villain. They're trying to really make him likable, which is cool, but literally if you just stuck to the main story, which is what the cartoon is, that's what makes it so good, is like everyone understands that he's not a villain. And in the TV show, like the live action does that fairly well, but they added a couple scenes I just didn't think made sense. There's also the scene, let me know if you agree with that or not, there's also this one scene that I really didn't like. Okay, ready? This could be a hot take, and I'm not gonna get canceled, but it's just my opinion, so let me know if you thought this was the right choice on Netflix part. I could totally see the argument that this is made for a younger audience, but as an OG, I'm just gonna let you know where I stand on it. So, well, we're at the end with Katara, and Katara's like, I want to fight, and then the master's like, no, like, girls don't fight, and then they're getting demolished, and then Katara's like, all the girls, like, let us fight, and then you see this whole mob of women wanting to fight. And then you have the way his wife be like, yeah, let us fight, and he's like, okay, fine, you guys can all fight. I'm sorry, I think that was totally lame. I understand the push for like equality of women and men are all great, yes, I totally get that, but what you're missing is that Avatar is based off of like, I totally forget the specific cultures, but it's based off of real cultures and ancestry, and there are cultures in the world where women and men have different roles, and that is okay. That is not bad. Women in this world were really, in the water world, were really only good at healing, and men could not heal, and men were only good at fighting, and they had their things, so it's just like, it's just weird that they made it seem like all the women wanted to fight, when in reality, in the actual cartoon, that wasn't the case at all. They just let Katara fight, I think. I just thought it was really dismissive of culture. I thought it was very insensitive, honestly. I totally understand, like, you know, women wanting to fight and all that, so if I'm in the wrong, let me know in the comments down below, but it just felt like it pulled away from the culture and its society, which is something I adore, because that's what made Avatar so amazing. It's like, as the show progresses, you realize like all these different cultures in the world, they have all their different roles, and if you just make equality the goal for every world, it's gonna get boring. And yeah, that's what we should all strive for, but the world isn't like that, and Avatar is not like that, and there's a lot of power in being individual and unique, and I just thought that was just like a very political correct thing to do. I am usually very political correct, I'm very liberal, like all that stuff, but I just felt like it wasn't serving the story, it was serving the let's not get canceled culture, which I think is always very cowardly, in my opinion. I'm being very frank. Like, let me know if you disagree with that, that's totally cool, that's your opinion. But, some things I really liked. I liked the casting of a lot of actors, actually. I thought Aang was good. Okay, so as actors, they're all talented. I'm just giving you my two thoughts. I thought Aang as a character, his voice annoyed me a lot because he was trying to speak such good diction. That may be weird, but other than that, he was great. Katara was really good. Sokka, I thought, was phenomenal. I thought General Zhao, the main villain of the entire first season, was phenomenal. Probably the best actor there was. Azula was okay. She was good. I'm really afraid they didn't lean into the characters being mean or having their faults. Whereas in the cartoon, they really do that really well. Where they really, Aang is very talented, but he's an airhead. Sokka is smart, but also has a huge ego. Katara is very powerful, but very sensitive. Azula is very crazy. She's hot-headed, but very passionate, can be very triggered very easily. Zuko is kind of the same. If you're not leaning, and I think of this from a writing standpoint, if you're not leading into the faults of the characters when you first meet them, there's a tricky line, because you want the audience to connect with the characters right off the bat, because that makes them invested, but you also want to have a place where your character can grow. So if you make your character super dislikable, it's hard for audience members to connect. That's why there's this whole writing technique called Save the Cat, where if you notice in most films, the main character is always going to do something that resembles a good deed, like save the cat. For, what is it, in Avatar, the last Airbender, Aang, he does something good right off the bat. I totally forget. It's like Katara and Sokka, they take Aang in. Yeah. So I think they could have leaned more into their faults a little bit more in the TV show. They didn't really do that, which was unfortunate. But most of it I actually really enjoyed. I thought the world building was pretty good. I also, sorry, I'm going to talk about the last episode because it's so weird to me that they cut a lot of stuff and I don't understand why. Why does Zuko not drag him out into the ice? Why, they do everything in the weird order, where they kill the moon, and then Aang, puts himself in the water, and then he almost dies. Whereas I'm pretty sure he enters the Avatar state, and he's meditating, right, during the entire time of it. And that's how he gets captured. Yuki or whatever. Oh no, I don't know. The water princess, I thought, was okay. To be honest, I liked M. Night Shyamalan's version of her better, even though the live action fit the actual portrayal of the character better. There just wasn't anything oh my gosh, about her, to be honest. And I think that's acting and also just stylized of her. I thought, yeah, overall I'm not I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7. I think they did a lot better job than the movie. I thought the tones and the themes came across really well. I literally forgot that Azula really isn't in the first season, which is crazy to me. Yeah, we'll see. It's really interesting too, Uncle Iroh and Zuko. It's just interesting how much they're really leaning into these are good people, versus in the first season of the actual cartoon, you can tell that they are they might have good underscoring qualities, but they're mostly like not good people. It's honestly not till the Blue Man per person, and then also the ice cave part. I think that you realize like Zuko's not trying to kill Aang. Also, Appa. Why is Appa gray and not white? Also, Momo. Oh my gosh, when Momo died, did that happen in the actual series? I forget. I just like, what the heck? But yeah. I was obsessed with the show growing up. I literally was like pretending I was a waterbender in the pool. It was a show I watched every Saturday, I remember. And it had one of the best payoffs after like 3 years on Nickelodeon. It's what made me love Nickelodeon. It's what made me love being called Nickelodeon in school. I thought no one really watched it, and then I found out people did, and they were going to make a movie, and then the movie wasn't so great, and I was like, oh, that's the last time they're ever going to remake this. And I was so sad. And look where we are now. So I'm glad they're doing a remake. I hope they do more seasons, honestly. If you didn't know, the original creators actually are opening a studio up with Nickelodeon to do more Avatar stuff. So there is hope that it will go back to its main source creators. Although I want to be honest with you, I kind of understand why they might have stepped away, and I also understand why it's probably maybe best they did. If you're the original creators of Avatar, I bet you have a really strong vision of everything, and there's a lot of things that you can't portray in live action. That's in the cartoon, for instance. Aang and Katara, a literal child and a teenager, cannot fall in love. You also... There's other things too, like the whole BC thing. There's other things. If you think of other things, let me know too. But there's reason why things had to be changed, and I understand why they had to, but they do pull away from the show. That's true. It's an unfortunate truth, but yeah. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. Please let me know. I really want to know. If you made it this far, leave a blue squiggly emoji, like a wind emoji, down in the comments, and I'll give you extra love. Subscribe, comment, like. I'm literally making this movie while I'm sick. That's how much I love this show and how much I wanted to just get this out there. So lots of love, and I hope this is decent. Stay amazing, my friends.